I grew up on a farm in Tipperary. We had the best of both worlds. We were quite close to the town, but we had the freedom of the countryside as well, which was lovely. I was a kid that was always on the go, full of energy, and that was really good because we had that avenue as kids growing up where I did to play in the farm, play in the fields, or else go and meet my friends in Tipperary or go to the sporting clubs that I played with. Most people need to be conscious about what's happening in the future, but certainly there was a little bit too much anxiety probably, but my outlook was pretty positive. I think I just went with the flow, and I had a good kind of work ethic about achieving things, and thankfully that kicked into my sport and enabled me to play at an elite level and really enjoy sport as well, and do something I was naturally, thankfully good at, and it opened so many doors for me in my life. Rugby wasn't work to me when I started. It was getting paid to do something I was going to be doing anyway, so it was kind of living the dream. But as the years went on and the expectation increased with Munster and maybe being involved with Ireland, judgment comes in more, analysis, people on the outside assessing what's going on. You win a game, it's great. You lose a game, it's traumatic. You realise that, you're very close, pats on the back or not too far away from a kick in the backside. I was quite self-critical if I didn't play well or if I made a bad mistake, and that kind of negativity engulfed me at times. And then obviously it's a little bit harder to get back up and prepare and go again and believe in the positivity that it's going to be a good performance the next day, rather than worrying about the fear of what if it happens again. And that kind of wave of emotion maybe started to get more and more apparent as the years went on. Then when you're kind of leading teams or doing well, you tend not to kind of share your own fears or your emotions or your worries because you're supposed to be the one who's achieving. There was a sporting incident that created massive devastation. It was a really good period in Irish rugby. This would have been the pinnacle, being a British and Irish line, and it didn't happen. And I found it really, really difficult to cope with that. For a number of weeks I tried to exist and get through it and hope it would go away and get better, but it wasn't getting better. And I felt I was kind of on the edge of a cliff really. Thankfully some bit of resilience kicked in, and I took that step to go to my rugby doctor with Munster, and I opened up and said, look, I need some help to try and get through this situation. It's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. The clouds are getting a little bit darker, and so he showed a lot of empathy immediately, which was brilliant. And I think he expected it because I had showed no real kind of emotion with family, with friends, with people around me. For any sports person, when you lose, you're going to be disappointed at any level, even when you're very young kids. Sharing that emotion is probably the important part of it, and something I didn't do very well. And I felt that I couldn't show weakness and show too much disappointment because I had to get ready for the next match. So part of my kind of drive and desire, it didn't allow me to mourn the loss or be disappointed if I didn't play well or if I made a mistake in the match. I made the decision to kind of stand in front of someone for the first time and kind of take off the mask and unleash that trauma and see if I could fix it. I wanted to try and educate and understand myself a little bit. How do I look after myself better? And how do I recognize achievement? What is achievement? How do I give myself a pat on the back and say, look, there's a bit of crap that's happened here. There's been a few ups and downs, but how do I say to myself, well done for getting to this stage? I probably didn't realize and see it at the time that if I actually had this conversation maybe and released that pressure, it would have benefited me more. We all experience adversity in our lives at some stage. It's how we deal with it defines what our resilience is. Getting a little bit of advice off people who you respect, who you love, who care for you is very important, and we don't put enough of value on that. And if we can teach young kids that that's important about being open and vulnerable with each other, with their parents, with their brothers, their sisters, and maybe looking out for each other in a better sense.